you're at. And this is the dude that I was telling you about. This is the dude. This dude went to prison where I went to prison. And dude, I'm just gonna let tell the other dudes. This is dude, guys.
Yeah. So I was sentenced to 6 months in Florence prison camp, and I did 5 months. I got out a month early due to First Step Act credits. And I just wanted to come on because after I got sentenced and before I self-surrendered, I watched your channel just to find out about what was going on, and I appreciated your channel, what you had to say and stuff. And so I thought I would just give you some updates because it's changed a little bit since you were there.
Yeah, I got a few questions. I think some guys I did some time with that they might chime in, but I do want to thank you for watching these videos. I was only going to do one video, tell everybody what my first day was like, and I got a phone call that very first day, and it's guys like you that call me. That's why I keep doing it, man. I'm helping somebody. I don't know how you feel, but I just turned 59. I haven't done a whole lot with my life to be proud of until I got phone calls from guys like you. But I was a old man just out of prison, back working in a restaurant. I'm really not doing anything with my life. I started this channel. People like you call me. I got a purpose. I've taken it 10 steps further than that, but it keeps me, keeps me in good spirits. It keeps me proud to actually be able to help someone. So no matter, my message is no matter who you are out there, I don't care if you're going to prison, you're not going to prison, you're never going to go to prison. Everybody's got something that they can say, do, or put a message out there to help somebody else. We all do. And I know that's a little too philosophical for some people, but don't give up on yourself. It took prison for me to realize that.
One of the guys that I met while I was there, he said, we're all one bad decision away from going to prison. Like, that's all it takes. One bad decision. You sign, you sign a paper that, something's off on it. I watched your guy yesterday. He put out a label on his the product he was selling. The label was wrong. And,
right.
It's one thing is all it takes. And,
he pissed somebody. Somebody didn't like him. There's haters in the world at all levels. So exactly. Normally he would have got probation, if even that. Usually just a fine, but somebody was going to. They weren't going to tolerate that man for some reason.
Yep. Yeah, I heard your comment yesterday. Yeah, I agree. Federal prosecutors, they don't have any accountability to the public. They're like law to themselves. They get to decide, what information they present to the grand jury. There's no opposing lawyer to argue against it.
I don't know where they meet, and I can't. I'm not allowed to. I think I could get violated. That would be breaking a law if I find out where they meet.
Yeah, they don't have any accountability to the people. They can do whatever they want. They don't have to show all the evidence to the grand jury. They can
reasonable cause, a suspicion, a slight doubt. That's all they need. Hearsay is not only admissible; it's enough to get an indictment. Hearsay. Now, in state courts, hearsay is not even admissible. In the Fed courts, they count on it. You know?
And I talked to so many people that they're on a conspiracy charge. If you get charged with conspiracy, by then you have to prove you didn't do it. If you're charged with conspiracy, you've got to prove that you didn't do whatever they say. It's not innocent until proven guilty. You got to.
Yeah, I missed that week of school when they were talking about the Constitution. What page is that on again? Can you tell me? I thought I found it. Was it chapter 3? I think the one. What I missed it. I somehow, and they've erased it out of all the books that I had in school. I don't know. I think that's a conspiracy. They've taken that law out of all the constitutional literature. Is that a conspiracy? But you know what I mean? I say it mockingly, so ridiculously, but that's the real system.
Yeah. Well, and another guy I talked to there, he said that when they came up with the grand jury system, the population was a lot lower, you have, all these people on the grand jury, there's a good chance they actually know you. They know the situation that they're on that grand jury about. And then the prosecutor's got to convince them that of whatever wrong thing you're accused of. But now there's so many people and the grand jury met in a town that's, a couple hundred miles from where I live. I didn't know any of those people. That, it's just a bunch of strangers, and I think they're biased towards the prosecution.
From what I understand, there's like a pool of 50 grand jurors. I think 18 or 24 or 22, something, maybe 14 show up for an individual decision. I'm going to call it a decision. And there's like 50 of them in there, and they're paid. We'll never know who they are. All these people who prosecute you or come up with their reasonable doubts and their suspicions, they get their jobs handed. Well, I'm not sure how they get employed, but we don't get to vote for that position. But we get to vote for like the president and the vice president. All these people who really aren't going to change my life directly, but the people who will change my life directly, like the judges and the grand juries, they don't get to. They're not voted in. I missed that day of history. But I mean, if you break it all down, this is a scary government, man. I don't care who the president. That's just to just to distract them so they can keep doing what they're doing.
The president doesn't have any control at all on a individual level like that. He nominates the judge, but I mean, the president doesn't even know the judge. Somebody tells the president who to nominate for a judge.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I've heard they're nominated. And I remember when I didn't have to wear a seatbelt. There was no law. Somebody came up with, I think we'll make it a law. We'll make it mandatory in every car. And does anybody happen to have? Oh, you own a company that can produce billions of seatbelt belts. Next thing you know, I'm getting pulled over because I don't have a seatbelt on, and somebody else is getting filthy rich, and the people had nothing to do with that. So, I don't want to. This show's not about the government, although I should really do one. But what it did to you? When did you find out that you were indicted?
It was in early 2022. I got a letter in the mail that said I was indicted and had to show up for court.
It said you had already been indicted.
Yeah.
So you get the news afterwards. Hey, we had a party and everything. You weren't invited, and now we decided you're guilty. We call it an indictment. Something like. Yep. I mean, you might have thought people were watching you, or I don't know if you had your house searched before that, or got pulled over, or suspicious people in your neighborhood kind of up the streets in the car, anything like that. I had all that happen.
No, I knew I don't know. I don't want to. I'll put it this way.
Did the letter surprise you?
Yes. Well, yes and no. I knew the situation had happened, but I never expected it to go that far. I never, I've never been in trouble in my life. I never spent a day in county jail. I never spent a day in prison up until this point. Like I've been, I've had speeding tickets and stuff like that, but I've, basically kept my nose pretty clean for most of my life. And then, this, on my side, it just felt like such a complete clusterfuck. I'm sorry, but that's just what it was. And
no, this is a grown-up channel. You can.
So a family member was not being cared for by his spouse. She was leaving him home alone for hours on end after he'd had a stroke, and she was going to the casino and spending their money, like several $1,000s of their money at the casino. She's
just trying to help out with the rent and the bills, that, because she's going to hit the winter. I know. I'm playing.
Yep. And so I moved him up to near where I live, and she was pretty upset that her gravy train ended, and so she started.
You saw that, okay?
She started the ball rolling by filing a complaint, and then by that time it was up to me to prove that I didn't do what I was accused of.
Yeah, here we go, proving you're innocent.
Yep.
I think the founders of this country would turn over in their grave if they heard this conversation. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I don't think that's, yeah. I don't think the system we have now is what they had intended.
I don't think they intended it. Although maybe they did. I really wasn't around back then, and the books they have us read now about them, I start to wonder now. I don't know. I don't know. Do you happen to know when the grand jury met? Do you know, was it in your town?
No.
Somewhere else. It was somewhere else.
Yeah, the federal court house for the district, it was about like a 3-hour drive from where I live.
Okay.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Did they ever arrest you at any point, or were you out the whole time?
Yep, I was out the whole time. I still, to this day, have never been arrested. Been indicted. I'm a felon, but I've never been arrested.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. But you can call me what you want, but I've never been arrested. That sounds good. I like that. That would be great. If they do a background check on us, that would be great. If that's all it saw, that I was never arrested.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll give a little, take a little. So, did you have a pretrial officer?
Yeah, I was pretrial supervision. Yep.
You had supervision officer. Yeah. So when you got the letter, how long did it have a court date for you to show up?
Yep.
And go on.
I was indicted, and I had to show up for the preliminary hearing on this date. And
how far away was the courthouse from courthouse?
Well, after the indictment, before I was indicted, I moved, and then from my new house, it's 5 hours drive to the town where the courthouse is. So I asked you that question because I didn't know the answer, but I had a feeling it wasn't just an 8-minute drive downtown with plenty of parking and they're buy you lunch. No, a lot of people, they find out they get indicted and it's it's hours away. Some people, they get their bank accounts are already frozen thanks to the indictment. Everything's frozen. They have no money. Some people, their cars get taken. They have no way to get to this place 3-4 hours away. You'd be surprised, because we're all not always living, the lives of saints either. And a lot of people, when they get indicted for drugs, everything's taken from them, even a bicycle, and they can't make it from New Jersey to New York or something, and they miss their court date. So then they'll lock you up in a detention center or county jail, and that they call that a violation, and you get no credit time served for that. Did you know that? Yep.
If you start off,
a lot of guys that they spent 12, 14, 16 months in county jail on federal charges, but they were waiting for it in county jail. Yeah.
Because they don't have accommodations everywhere. I mean, Washington D.C., of course, New York. I was in San Francisco. They have a special floor for feds, and Oakland has a special. They have a special detention center for feds in their weekend warrior jail guys. If you know, that means they do weekends only, and then work furlough. Have you heard of that? That's where a guy goes to work Monday through Friday, but he spends his nights and weekends in the county jail. Some think that's. I mean, if you don't want to lose your job, those days are those are long days, especially the weekend warriors. You get sentenced to a year, and you're going to do weekends. What's 52 weeks in a year? So you're doing is that a 52? Well, that's a long sentence of weekends.
Yeah.
So you had to do no. Have you ever been in jail in your life for? I don't know. Never. You ever had ever drank one beer and then got in the car and never got
Yeah. I know I've driven when I was over the limit.
I'm not saying you're. I'm not trying to use that as an example, but I like to ask people when in prison. Let's say you had to go to prison for everything in your life that you've got away with that was illegal. How much time do you think you would have got? I mean, everything. I mean, everything from pulling off that label on the mattress to, stealing the candy bar when you were 6. But I mean, you add it all up together. The parking tickets that you changed, or who knows? there's a handicap parking spot. I know that's what it shouldn't be even a fine, but put it all together. How much time would you get?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Years for sure. I mean,
Me, 5,000 years for me, I guess. I don't know what that'd be a lot.
I think everybody's, even if they didn't get caught, even if they didn't know it, there's, they've broken a law at some point for something. A guy that was in there told me that they have a crime now called structuring. If you deposited more than $10,000 in three different transactions that were under that, they can charge you with structuring.
Really? This is all I gotta look structuring.
Yeah, this was a guy that I talked to there in Florence.
This is something new. Then is this new?
I don't know.
I mean, it's new as a crime, maybe.
It's there's a limit on banking transactions where if you anything over $10,000 gets reported immediately.
Yeah, I know about that. But if I got a car lot and I'm 80 to 90 cars a day going in and out, I probably that's a lot of cars. We're gonna watch this guy, but
that
can be illegal.
But if you make deposits that add up to over $10,000, you could potentially get charged with structuring. So you're trying to avoid the notifications. So
I've heard it called laundering and money. Yeah. Something. I know the $10,000. You can't just walk in the bank these days and go, "Hey, I got $2 million in here. I've been saving up all my life. I want it." And you have to order the money, and even to get $5,000. And let's say you want to take it all out. Fine, I'll do it every day. I'll be back every day. Give me what you can. They're probably not going to do it. They're not going to give you $8,000 every day till the $2 million's paid out of their bank. You just can't get your own money. It doesn't work that way. And it's illegal to hold that money in your house, I think. If you do, you got to pay taxes on it. But didn't I pay taxes on it when I first got it and along the way? And you can't even hold your own money that you worked so hard for all your life. It's,
Well, the government wants to know everything you're doing. But
I know. Yeah.
But I thought, the main reason for me being today was, we can talk about this stuff all day, but,
I know, man. I'm sorry.
Florence has changed a little bit since you were there. I watched your shows, and what you talked about. And
tell me about the first day. I don't know if COVID was still, were they quarantining people or?
I took my vaccination card with me. I'd been vaccinated and I took that card with me. So I didn't get quarantined, but other people did.
They got quarantined. And did they have to go to the street?
Recently, before I got there? I don't know if they were doing it after I got there. No, but I didn't talk to anybody that said they were quarantined after I arrived. But people that had gotten there just recently before me did get quarantined.
And they took them over to the shoe at the medium, or yeah. Wow. How about wearing a face? Well, tell me about the first day, and then I'll get the questions.
So I self-surrendered. I rolled up. I actually came a day early because the flight for me to get there, I couldn't get there. I had to be there by like 2 p.m. or something.
You are right.
And the way the flights were, I couldn't get there and get to the facility by 2 p.m. So I came a day early.
A lot of people do that, yeah.
And that they weren't expecting that, but I figured I'd be better to be 23 hours early than half an hour late.
Oh, I misunderstood you. You showed up at the prison a day early.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like you stayed at a motel a day early. Oh,
no. I showed up at the prison like 23 hours early.
Wow. Wow. You didn't think about just walking around for 18 hours or staying in a motel or something? No.
I could have stayed in a motel, but I just went early. So.
No, I get it. Get it over with. It's probably been, how long were you waiting for this?
It was 10 months from when I was indicted.
You had all this on your shoulders. You've been carrying around this big giant.
Yeah, it's
ball and chain, right?
It's a huge stressor. It's a huge stressor. In some ways, the sentencing was a little bit of a relief just because I knew what was going to happen. It still sucked. Yeah. Finding out that I was going to get prison time on this charge that my lawyer said I wouldn't. Don't worry, cases like this, they don't give prison time. You won't have to do prison time. Da 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 da. He said that over and over and over and over.
Can I ask you how much he charged you?
It was a public defender, so I didn't have to pay for it.
Oh, public defender. Okay.
Yeah. So, you get
I'm
what
sorry.
you pay for.
Yeah, no. I thought you got a paid one. Okay. But let's
No.
go on to Florence. So did you take
So,
a bus there, a Uber, a taxi? How did you get to
taxi. I took a taxi from the Pueblo airport over to the gate and then got out and went to the gate and said, I'm here to self-surrender. And they took my ID, and then they brought a car and they took me up to the FCI, to the medium security, and took me in there and processed me. And well, yeah, that's where they do all the intake and R&D,
R&D, but
reception,
then they changed
receiving
it
and
because
departure.
they used to do it right at the camp in the mailroom there, but I guess they changed that. Yeah.
Okay, so one big thing is, since you were there, the Teller housing unit is closed for remodeling. There's nobody in there.
So that camp's wow, how many inmates are there now then?
The whole time I was there, it kind of hovered around 160, 170.
Whoa.
Right in that neighborhood.
Wow, we were between 420 and 480. Wow, yeah. What a difference. Wow.
No, they did not cut my hair. And I'll talk about that out early.
Right, they don't. No, some state prisons, I think I think San Quentin does that for certain programs,
Yeah. So so Teller housing unit is closed down for remodeling. When I first got there, they said, everybody's gonna move over to Teller, and they expected it to happen by February. Well, this is May and they still hadn't got it open. And
wow.
They'll probably have people move over there in the next month or two, sometime this summer, I would think.
So is everybody doubling up in the cubicles, or is there enough for everybody to have?
No, the single beds, like they're not even bunk beds. They're
single. Oh yeah. I know what you're talking.
They're not stacked. They're on the floor, two per cubicle, and then on the ranges. So, if you haven't been there, there's two floors to the housing units, and it's like if you drew a picture, it'd be like this. There's an X, and there's two wings on one side and two wings on the other, and then there's two floors. So there's 8 ranges total, and then there's 32 beds per range. And then while I was there, ranges 4 and 8 were closed down most of that time. They weren't even open.
Really? Whole range is closed. Wow.
So they had only 6 of the 8 ranges were open in the Summit housing unit.
That's like a ghost town.
Yeah. It was not nearly as many people as when you were there.
Yeah. It took about 150, 200 inmates just to handle all the food service positions, because we worked at the other prisons. That's a whole camp. Wow. They must have scaled down everything.
Yeah. Yeah. They closed the RDAP program. There at the camp. There's one across the street at the medium. I don't know about the USP if they've got one or not, but
yeah, I had a guy that was at Florence. He went there for the RDAP program, and he calls me up and he said they're going to transfer me to Beaumont, Texas, or something, because the RDAP here is closing down and they're moving it over to the penitentiary. And I said, to the penitentiary? Those guys can't even qualify with their crimes, usually violent. And then I found out from one of the staff members. I called what was his name? Mrs. I'm trying to remember her name. But I called one of the staff members of RDAP, and he confirmed it. He told me, yeah, we're going to the penitentiary. It's never been done. And if that doesn't work, I don't know if we're coming back here, but RDAP is no longer in Florence camp. Yeah, they had it at the medium. So that's a big chunk of their money. That RDAP program funds so many other things besides just that. I mean, they bought brand new TVs and chairs for all the TV rooms. The washer and dryers that you see on different ranges, that's all bought by RDAP. So a lot of that funding helped the other inmates. Wow.
So we got a comment. Xfail.
Yeah. Zephiel. Yeah.
I knew several guys that were signed up for RDAP, and they shipped them out. They shipped them like to Sheridan, to Yankton, different camps. They did not send the campers over to the medium.
Oh no, they won't do that. They used to.
Yeah.
They used to let you go to different classification levels. Now that's stopped. I don't know about the women, but the men, no, that's a no now. There's no RDAP if your classification points are less than 11 points. There is no RDAP for you anywhere on the West Coast except Sheridan. That's it. Now you got to go Sheridan, and then the next one is Texas.
Yeah, there's a Texas. There's one in Yankton, South Dakota.
Yeah, Minnesota stuff. I got a list. I think there's 70. I got a list from the RDAP webpage. I think there's 77 total RDAP programs, but that's men, women at different levels, and some are in the medical centers. But yeah, the West Coast is, allows Californians are gonna be shipped off all over the country now. So if you're facing federal prison time and you're somewhere, California, Oregon, Nevada, or something, Arizona, if you want the RDAP, you're not going to be near your family. You're going to be states away.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I would say, if anybody's been indicted, they haven't gone to court yet, they're going to do a pre-sentencing report. If you've ever done drugs, you might think your pre-sentencing report, you don't want to talk about that. I would suggest to talk about that because that can take some time off your sentence.
Thank you. Listen to this dude. I'll tell you right now, if let's say you don't want I don't want nobody to know I did a little drugs, I did a little drinking, magic mushrooms or whatever it was, pot, because you think you're going to be judged and looked down on that. You're already being judged by the federal government. If you're worried about your family, you got more problems than just what they think about you doing drugs. But let's say you robbed a bank and you killed 5 people in the bank. But you want to have a squeaky clean record because you don't want the judge to think I did drugs too. He'll give me more time. If you got to the courthouse and I was a judge, I think any judge would say, so you never drank or did drugs or anything, and you robbed the bank and you killed these 5 people, and because are you insane? Why did you do that? If he finds out because you had an alcoholic problem, you're jealous over your wife, you have a gambling addiction. You drink, you do all these drugs. The judges go, now I know why you did it. Now I know why you did it.
Yeah.
And if you made changes along the way, hey, you've been going to AA meetings, you're feeding homeless people, you're going to senior centers and cleaning their bathrooms. You're making a change already. I don't really think I have to give you 20 years or anything. You're making changes now. So you keep this stuff up. And now maybe some help with your alcohol and your drugs or your gambling. And maybe I'll work with you and maybe I'll get less time. But you keep that all out of the record. You're looking pretty sus. I mean,
yeah. If you don't have that in there beforehand, then you get to prison and then you try to sign up for it, you might not get it. You're actually probably going to get denied. But so if you have done drugs, I mean, I talked to a lot of guys that are there for selling drugs, and I mean, basically they were selling it to support their habit. They weren't like the hardcore trafficking guys that are selling pounds and pounds of it. They're selling a couple ounces. They're selling, selling enough just to support whatever they're using themselves. You tell them about that. That can, you get them enrolled in the RDAP program, you can get out a year early. So
and extra you get 6 months halfway house time too. And now that's pretty much straight to home confinement if you have a house. I know a lot of guys that they sold drugs, they did drugs, but their charges were conspiracy. That they got 3 houses and 2 Mercedes and no job, but they don't want to put drugs on their paperwork. Actually, it explains to the judge you're not being charged for selling drugs anyway. He sees that he can understand why you have all these things. And if they find that out, are they going to bring on new charges? Probably not that. I mean, I can't guarantee it, but I don't think they are. They got you 10, 20 years anyways, but it's going to be in your paperwork. Because if you try to tell the RDAP coordinator after you get to a prison, can I make an appointment? I want to take this program. That's great. You could take it, but if you want the time off, the RDAP coordinator, you're a felon sitting in her office behind her desk, and she's going to believe you that all of a sudden now you have a problem with alcohol and drugs, and the timing was right, and they're not going to believe you. You need a verified source. So you could even have a police officer do that, or a probation officer if they'll do it. I don't know if they will. Now I have guys who do it too, but I'm not here for that. And there's a lot of other prison consultants out there that do it. They can write you a letter. I've helped 4 or 5 people now, I think, do that. They're in there now for RDEP. There are ways to do it, but you can have a police officer do it too. That's if you go to my website or my videos underneath, there's a whole RDEP section in there. It lists all the little rules, and one is a police officer or a therapist or a probation officer. So you get one of those to help you. Probably a pretrial officer would do the same. They wouldn't charge you, but they could write you that letter. So there, I saved you $10,000. Don't call Justin Paperny. Oops, did I say that?
But no RDAP program in Florence now, and
so that's a small one build that took up a whole building. How about the dog program? Is that still there?
Yep, that's still there.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yep, and so there's 14 guys in the dog program.
Wow, that's half the size it was.
I mean, that's one person and one dog per cubicle. So the other ranges where you have two people sharing a cubicle, on the dog range, they've got one person and one dog.
Okay, and they had 2 ranges before. Okay. How about the? I want to get to baseball because that was my favorite pastime, watching baseball out there. Were you there in the season? So guys, I don't know if you're listening. You did 5 months, right?
5 months.
6, yeah, 5 months, guys. 5 months. It can happen. The guy that went there this morning, 30 days. 30. So there's no.
Some of those guys, when they find out you're there for a short time, they won't even talk to you. Like,
I wouldn't talk to you. I wouldn't talk to you. I might say hi to you, but the guy 30 days, I'd say, yeah, all right, man. I'll see you next time I blink, because that's how long you're going to be there.
Yep.
How did they approach you? Like your first day, were people coming up to you with care packages, coffee, shower shoes, stuff like that? Do you remember?
People walked up like, hey, welcome. You need anything? People are very friendly. Somebody offered me a pair of tennis shoes. Like, it might not have been the first day, but somebody gave me older pair of tennis shoes because, all I had was those canvas slip-on shoes that they give you at R&D, and that was it. Yeah. And then they give you those crappy work boots, and that's it.
Yeah. They started giving out really pretty bad ones. When I got there, it was the steel toe boots, but they're brand new. They were pretty decent boots, but when I left, they were handing out just garbage. Yeah, it's gonna hurt your feet.
They're heavy. They only come in extra wide or wide width. Wow. So if you've got narrow feet, those things are just hugely. I knew a guy that he took the shower sandals, that for $1 off a commissary.
Yeah.
Took those and a pair of scissors and trimmed them up and used those as insoles in his boots. And he said they work pretty good.
Yeah, they did. You know what? I actually did that too. A few of us did. I forgot about that. Yeah. Those boots, that hurt your feet. We did that too. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Wow.
So right now it's just a minimal crew. There's the guys that work at the ADX. There's the guys that work at the food service there in the camp. There's landscaping, and there's the shops, the auto shops, recycling. We had a couple of different lockdowns while I was there.
Yeah, those will happen.
USP went on lockdown twice while I was there, and the FCI went on lockdown once while I was there.
So you were there 5 months. That's 3 lockdowns. That's that's 3 in 5 months. That's a lot of lockdowns.
I think it's probably worse during the winter when people aren't outside as much.
Sure, it is. Have you heard the story why they go on lockdown? Because I could tell you. Those are interesting reasons, right? I see by the look on that.
Smirk. So at the USP now. I will say that all of this is rumor. I think
inmate.com,
the biggest pastime in prison is gossip and rumors. But apparently at the USP, the Aryan Nation was coercing, extorting, blackmailing some of the guards into bringing in drugs.
Oh, no, that never happens.
Apparently, the guards got into a fight once all of this started to come to light. And that's how one of the USP lockdowns happens, is because the COs got into a fight of some kind.
One's getting paid more than the other guy. I didn't get that much.
I don't know. But
yeah.
Oh yeah, drugs are there. Drugs are there for sure.
At all levels, yeah.
Drugs are there at the USP. I had a talk to a guy that he worked his way down from the medium. He was at the medium across the street in Florence, and then he worked his way down to the camp. Wow. He's like, oh yeah, there's drugs over there. There's phones over there. I was working the lockdown at FCI when they walked out a CO that got canned because him and his wife were bringing in contraband.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Family business. Keep it in the family.
And I guess like the going rate for a cell phone at the FCI is like $3,000.
Oh my God. It was $200 to $300 at the camp. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's about what they are at the camp, I think. But at the FCI, like, I mean, you know, and like there's these prison guards that are making
$40,000, they count on that. A year. Some of them count on that.
They bring in a cell phone, they can like double their salary, bring in one cell phone. Like,
yeah, and then also if they take it back from the inmate, they get recommendations and bonuses for you know, confiscating one too. You know, it goes full circle.
Yep.
I think the difference at a camp though, because we don't have a fence, guys, just a sign that says we don't have a fence, out of bounds, right? We don't have to use the guards for anything. Yeah, we don't manipulate them. We don't say, hey, your wife, you know, she's not gonna be calling you as much maybe if you don't do this for me, or I know where your son goes to school, or what. They know they're coming home at the end of the day, and they know that nobody's going to manipulate them. You know, so I think they treat the campers in a different, more respectful way than at the other prisons. Would you agree?
In my experience, the guards at the USP were nicer than at the FCI. The guards at the USP treated us with respect. Like when we were working lockdown, like we could cook our own, you know, some people would cook our own, we'd have something hot, different.
Oh yeah.
Putting in the trays. Like the COs at the USP, they'd bring out a box of cookies or brownies or something, like, you know, just something for the guys that are working. Cause I hands down the worst job there is working the lockdowns, because you're at that lockdown for 12 hours, 10, 12, 11, 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. Some people were working 6 or 7. Like there, I knew people
I did 96 days in a row without a day off once on those lockdowns. Because we all counted it, but yeah, I've had so many of those lockdowns to do. But I think you're right. They treat the USP would think that it's more violent people and all that, but that USP I think has 400 to 600 inmates, and the FCI, the medium, has 1,800 to 2,400 or something, over 2,000 inmates, and you get that kind of 2,000 inmates are going to really make a more of a disruption than, you know, 600 guys with a life sentence. You would think the life sentence guys you watch out for, but not really. You know what I mean?
You know, I think there's like at the USP, there's like a level of respect between the COs and the inmates in there, because those inmates, like, they're there for life, pretty much. Right. If you're in the USP, if you're not there for life, it's the next thing to it.
Yeah.
Like, and so like those inmates, like they'll beat the ever loving shit out of a CO. They don't care.
That's right.
Like, if they feel disrespected, they will hurt you, kill you, shank you, like, and they have shanks. Like that's not made up for TV. Like they have weapons. They will hurt you.
And I've heard their conversations when, you know, I'm working in the kitchen doing dishes and I'm ear hustling, you know, and I'm hearing how, you know, I got 2 of these put away. Let him try it. It's tomorrow's shakedown, and we're gonna see. I hear him talking like what they're gonna do to some inmate that I have no clue who he is, but they're you know, they're almost setting they're excited about it. It's part of their life that they fall into their own drama. The correctional officers' drama. They have their own kind of code and system and all that.
Yep. Yeah. It's a whole different world at the USP and the medium compared to the camp. The camp, is as easy as it's going to get for prison. Like, it's better than county. It's better. I think some state prisons might be better than the camp, but that's going to depend on the state and depend on the prison.
Yeah, there's some fire camps that are really good, I've heard, but
But if you get sentenced to a federal prison camp, I mean, they call it club fed, but it's not club fed. It's prison. It's still prison.
I know it's still,
but it's better than anywhere else you're going to go.
Right. So, there's what's the one up north, upstate New York? I want to think. That one they say is still club fed. Where all the Jewish lawyers go. It'll come to me. It's supposed to be the number one federal prison camp. If you are taking a survey, somebody out there, if you're watching the show, it's not Yankton, but it'll come to me. Not Duluth. All the famous Jewish criminal lawyers go there. Y'all know it. No, I could look it up. Anyways, I heard that one has a swimming pool and tennis courts, and it has a golf course. And it has a golf range and a one-hole course that the inmates made. So it's not like green grass or anything, But they moved rocks here and all this stuff, and they made a little one-hole golf course.
Yep.
And they still let them have it. So that's the last club fed. But apparently, back in the day, they were getting steaks and like real meat. They had soda machines in that you just put your cup up in as much as you want to drink. They had these salad bars that were pretty fancy, and apparently back in the day they put a lot of money into the feds, and they were eating really well. And some had swimming pools and tennis courts and all that.
Yeah,
and that club fed thing kind of caught on. But some people saw what their tax money was going to, and they, no.
There's no ice cream machine anymore. There used to be. I mean, like there used to be in Florence. Like there's still on the wall. There's still a cleaning schedule, and it says, you clean the ice cream machine on this day. You clean the soda machine on this day. Yeah, there's none of that.
Did you guys at least have the salad bar with the sneeze guard? Did they use that?
That's out there, and they would put. I mean, we got. The only fresh vegetables I saw for 5 months was iceberg lettuce, tomatoes, and cucumbers. That was it. That was the only fresh vegetables.
So much. Wow. The lady who ran the kitchen always got fruit. I mean, everything from pears to plums to nectarines to cantaloupe to honeydew melons to watermelon and big pieces that you would get. I mean, fruit that's normally like
apples and oranges. We occasionally got bananas. I was there for a couple months before we got bananas. Like,
wow,
we didn't have bananas right away, and then we got bananas mixed in. But apples, oranges, bananas. That was it.
So I was always impressed with that fruit. I mean, that was stuff sometimes I can't afford.
They get it at the ADX. They
do. Oh, really?
Yeah. They got kiwis at the ADX.
Oh, I remember those guys. Yeah.
Some of the guys that work at the ADX can bring back a tray, and I had kiwi while I was there, but they damn sure didn't serve it at the camp.
No, that's right. Those inmates, because I worked at the ADX too, they get their trays and meals are constantly just monitored by the staff that they get the highest quality on that national menu that can be prepared, by the staff. I mean, I've seen them say that you're not sending this chicken out like that. Just barely. No, we're going to get it brown and crispy. We're going to put some seasoning on it. Let's do it again, guys. They won't do that for us at the camp,
Hi, Katie. I pled guilty to Social Security fraud.
I wasn't going to ask you unless you felt,
Yeah, somebody asked. So Katie asked.
Hey, Katie.
I pled guilty to Social Security fraud, and my public defender assured me that I wouldn't get prison time. He said, take this plea agreement, and you won't get prison time. You just get probation. You get, restitution. My public defender was wrong. I got prison time. I was sentenced to 6 months, and I served 5 months. I got out a month early due to First Step Act credits, and so, yeah.
I'm surprised they were able to calculate your time all within 6 months and orchestrate it where you can leave early.
They're not.
Do you
They're not
remember who
doing
this
that
is?
there. So the case
Oh,
manager, when I
that's-
first got there, he didn't even know that I would get First Step Act. He thought I didn't qualify because
that's what I
with
thought.
the 6 month sentence, you don't qualify for home confinement. You don't qualify for halfway house.
Yeah, no CARES Act, no compassionate release, right?
Yeah. If you're getting a longer sentence, like I talked to a guy that he was sentenced to a year and a day, that's actually a good sentence because then you can qualify for other things. You qualify,
And
for
you get
good
2 months
time.
off good time, and you're right. That's probably
Yep.
it's not enough time for RDAP, but
No.
I think the best possible, other than a year and a day, next one I would say 37 months. 36 doesn't get you the year off, but 37 gets you the year off, the extra 6 months halfway house, your good time, and then the First Step Acts. If you can work all that in there, I think I had to mount down to 14 months on a 37-month sentence. That's not bad,
So I got 6 months. I served 5. The FSA credits are being calculated on a national national level.
That's good. It'll get done that way.
Yeah. Let me.
Do you remember your counselor's name or your case manager's name?
Thompson.
I had Thompson. He was mine. He's still there, huh?
Yep, he is. So he's the only one. There's so few people. There's one case manager, there's one counselor, and there's one unit
we
manager.
had 3. Wow.
Yeah, but with only, I mean, that's the thing about it. Like, so they can't run that prison complex without the campers. Like, the campers are there as a labor pool to run the USP, to run the FCI, to run the ADX.
Yeah.
So
you're absolutely right. It's a working camp.
Yeah, everybody there's got a job unless they're like retirement age, or they've got a medical reason why they can't.
A lot of those white collar guys, they got the back problem. They can't do the lockdowns, and they got the special letters sent to the prison. Those guys. Yeah. Somebody buffs their cell, their cubicle. Cleans it twice a week. They got 20 shoes. Their laundry's picked up and ironed for them. Their dinner's made at the microwave. Those guys. They don't work. There's some of those people. Not that I had any resentment.
There's guys talking about, guy said, I miss my Ferrari. Like, I mean, there's definitely some of those guys, but they're there. But but everybody's got a job. I mean, like one guy, he had a soft shoe restriction, and it was a whole drama thing. Like he got called up to go to the lockdown at the FCI.
Oh.
And then, so we talked about the USP. The guards at the USP are treating even the campers with more respect. The guys at the FCI don't do that. They're straight up assholes. They were assholes to us. Like, they do not treat us with respect. And so this guy from the camp was over at the lockdown for the FCI, and he was trying to explain his soft shoe restriction, and they sent him to the shoe. It was like 24 hours.
I got your soft shoe right here. Yeah.
Yeah. They cuffed him and they took him to the shoe. And so he was like, I didn't say I wouldn't work. We did. You were going to get there and we stopped you before. I know they don't play, man. They don't play. Yeah. I had one of those big carts, the hot carts that you push full of the trays. I had one catch my back of my shoe and fell on me right over at the FCI, and they called the doctor and all this stuff, but they looked at me and they said I started to get up. They go, oh yeah, you go, and I told them no. It looks like it should hurt. It really doesn't hurt. I'll work. I said, just can I maybe roll silverware today and then I'll be good, and they were fine with that. But they weren't going to give me any break, so they don't care. Yep.
Yeah, that's how it is. I think I got $5 once for the whole time. I probably half my time there was doing lockdown. I think I got $5 once for all of it. Did you ever get paid for any of that?
they don't give you a pay stub. I mean, they credit your account, but they don't tell you where the money's coming from. Like,
it's supposed to be $1 a day and then 18 cents for any overtime past 4 hours.
They're not doing that.
No
way they're doing that. No, like, I mean, if you're lucky, you get the 12 cents an hour for grade 4. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I got, I worked. So I got there in December. I worked lockdown in December. I worked lockdown in January. I worked lockdown in February. I mean, I got paid. I didn't get paid in January. You're not supposed to go to work till you do A&O, but December's a bad month to self-surrender because everybody's leaving for the holidays. So,
sure. So are they waiving all that stuff then? The R&O, the orientation, that's all being waived now.
You're not supposed to be assigned a job until you do A&O, but they signed me to lockdown before I had A&O. Yeah. And then I did A&O in January. And it wasn't real A&O like you talked about. It was like 2 guys showed up and talked. I mean, it was like 45 minutes and it was done. The warden wasn't there. None of the other, medical didn't come. Like, it was. Yeah, I didn't get a real A&O.
I want to say hello to Katie. She's saying that she's on federal pretrial too. So I'm glad you told us that. We know what you're going through, right? I don't know how long you've been on to Katie, but let me, dude, tell me this. I'm calling him dude because he is the dude. But how many people told you, oh, you're not going to get probation? How many? You've been going to court for how long? And I mean, you're just going to get probation. You're not going to prison. I mean, they would have already done that. How many times did you hear that from people?
I heard it. I mean, my biggest thing was my attorney. I trusted
telling you
him.
You're going to get it. Yeah.
My attorney, my attorney is like I told you before this started. Like, he would make an excellent used car salesman. He talks the talk. He's got the lingo. He presents himself as being knowledgeable, and this will happen and that'll happen. Well, he said, take the plea deal. You won't get jail time. Yeah, guess what? I got jail time.
He won't have to work harder.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Like, I mean, I wonder if he wasn't trading favors to get some kind of deal for some other case. I mean,
holidays are coming up. Holidays are coming up. I want to get those 2 months in a row. And I worked at a country club golf course once as a bartender, and judges and lawyers and prosecutors, they'd all come in. I hear them making the deals. So if I give Jimmy Smith there, if I give him to 2 years and we waive, okay, all right, I'll give you 2 for 1 on Jimmy. You're going to buy the next round. No, you're going to wait till we're done with this conversation because your guys are looking at least 5 years. How many rounds? If you bought rounds for a week, sure, I could do that. I mean, that's how they're talking to. It's all about who's buying the next round and who's going to do the favor and who's going to give me the deal on the house that I'm going to buy, and you're going to get my kid in the Stanford. You sure you can get him in the Stanford? Hey, these next 3 cases are yours. You do what you want. That's how we're looked at. We're just numbers. We're worth something at the bar.
Yep.
I hate to say it. I've heard this for years.
I wish I kind of would have gone to court. I mean, that 97%. 97% conviction rate is scary, but I wish I would have been able to present my side to a jury.
It's starting to change.
If I would have known I was going to get prison for sure, I probably would have. But my lawyer just assured me, take the plea deal. You won't get jail time. I'm like, okay, because there's this sentence for this charge and this sentence for that charge and this sentence for that charge. They're like, well, if you just plead guilty to this one charge, and my lawyer is saying you won't get jail time. And I'm like, this prosecutor keeps saying, jail time and this and that.
But
and
they kept it. You didn't get jail time. You didn't get jail time. You got prison time.
Yeah, I got prison time. But you know what I mean? Prison.
I know what you mean. Yeah, mine told me I was going to get probation too. And I had a different ones. The first one said I was looking at 13 to 17 years. And the last one, he told me, you're going to get probation. You're going to get probation. And a month went by. He goes, get ready for this next court because they're going to cut you a deal probably for 5 years. I said, you've been telling me probation. I've never told you you're going to get probation. I had one of those lawyers. So, yeah.
So, Katie, I've got about 5 minutes left.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to be more quiet. You talk.
If you talk to Sean, send Sean a message and he can give my email. If you want to send me questions directly, just talk to Sean and he'll give you my email. Yeah, I mean, everybody's case is different, and I'm not a lawyer, but I can tell you my experience.
But Katie, I know some women that have prison channels and they've been through the camps and they're out now too. Send me a comment and I'll hook you up with all them. They can really help you with whatever questions you have.
Yeah. So
Tell me, what are you going to do now that you're out? Life is you're still your probation now till when?
I have 3 years of probation and a financial repayment plan. So,
okay. Now, do you have any plans for the rest of your life? You're not going to make that same mistake again. We'll call it a mistake, but you're not going to do that anymore. I'm sure that's part of it.
I'll never put myself in the same situation where that's even a possibility. I promise you that.
Sure. Has prison changed you at all?
Do they have to? Theoretically, they have to stand by the guidelines. I got under guidelines, but I had no criminal history whatsoever. I've never been to jail, never been arrested. I never spent a night in jail, prison, anything. And I think they took that into account. I think the judge took that into account. And I was sentenced to 6 months. And I could have been my guidelines was 10 to 16 months. And I was sentenced to 6, and then FSA credits I got out a month early.
They can go up to a guy I did last month. The 2 ounces of marijuana, I get 18 years. No criminal history. Watch that show. He pissed off the judge though.
Yeah. Don't piss off the judge.
I remember something personal pissed him off, like in the real world, like saw him at the grocery store or something. I don't know, but they can go up. And that's not supposed to be anything. The judge should have stepped down from the whole case. But
the guidelines, like my lawyer telling me that I wasn't going to get jail time. I might have had grounds to appeal for ineffective counsel.
Yeah, maybe.
All that gets me is a new trial. I got sentenced to 6 months. Like, okay, I can appeal this. Maybe I get a new trial. Maybe I don't. I get a new trial, I could get 10 months. I could get 16 months. So it's like,
and
I think I'll just take
it. Could be longer till you get to trial too. They'll drag it out 5-7 years. I was 4 years on free trial, and it was a year before, and rated a year before. So 5 rated a year later, indictment 4 years later, sentencing. 5 years of my life, I'll never. That was on hold forever. So you take it to trial, it could be 9 years before you go to trial.
And having that hanging over your head for that long is just miserable. It's in some ways, now I'm a felon, but I'm out of prison, and like having that not hanging over my head anymore is a relief. I mean, there's different stress, there's other stress, but at least now I know where things stand, and I don't have that hanging over my head anymore. So that's a positive part of it, is that now, okay, this is the situation. This is what I got to deal with. And then it's just figuring out the next steps to deal with it.
If anybody's going to prison soon, can you maybe recap advice on their first day, their first week there?
It's scary. Take your prescriptions with you. Take a copy of your prescriptions with you, and have somebody, have your doctor mail it to you while you're there.
Did you have difficulty with that when you got there?
Yeah, I was on a prescription for anxiety, and that drug, gabapentin, it's very difficult to get it in federal prison.
Yeah, they have their own pharmacy on the ground. So if they don't make that version of your drug, you don't get it. Yeah.
Yep. They don't. They have their treatment manual for ADD, but they don't follow it. We could do a whole nother show on that, but advice for if you're going to prison, take your prescriptions with you, have somebody mail it to you while you're there. you'll get through it. It's at least at the prison camp level. Like there's not all the politics. There's plenty of drama, but it's not like you don't have to worry about dropping the soap. Like the shower stalls have a door that you can close. Like, people leave you alone. People at the prison camp, like they want to do their time and they want to go home. Most of the people there don't want to get drama. They don't like, I never saw a fight while I was there. I never saw anybody, any kind of major disagreements, nothing like that. Like it's pretty chill. I can't speak to the FCI. I can't, things are worse across the street. Things are worse behind the fences.
When they call you over there to make their food and do their laundry and stuff, something happened over there. So I know I can't speak for them either, but I know 7 or 8 times I had to go clean up their messes while they were being punished. So they're not the nicest people.
So Katie, yes, you can bring cash. I had like $90 with me when I got there, and they put it onto my commissary. It's actually nice to have that right on there. It takes a few days for it to get processed. It's actually faster to get money Western Union to you by somebody else, but you can take some with you, and it'll show up on your books within a week, less than a week. 3 or 4 days probably.
How fast were they to give you your PIN number so you can use the phone and also the email system? Did they get you that within 24 hours?
The next day. It wasn't the same day. It was the next day, I think, that I got. I think. Oh well, the people that work there don't know how to run the phones. They tell you ask an inmate. Like So the people that work there don't know how to run the phone system. You have to ask another inmate how to run the phone system, how to set up your PIN. Like there's a voice recognition thing.
They still have the fingerprint thing too.
Yep, there's a fingerprint thing. You start out with a PIN. Like I got the email right away, but it took me an extra day to get the phone.
Free phone call still.
Yep, they are till June is what I heard.
Okay, till June. Well, that's only a month left.
That's CARES Act. That was part of the COVID thing. They could extend that. There's, like I said, the biggest pastime in prison is rumors and talking.
Yeah.
So be careful about what kind of advice you get from people there, because everybody there's got an opinion and everybody's an expert. So just, take everything you hear with a grain of salt.
Yeah, like I say, take my advice. I'm not using it. But you're gonna hear a lot of stories. A lot of women rumors too. That women are getting 50% now. They go straight to home confinement. There's no probation for women anymore. All that.
Yeah, exfil. Be careful about the amount of cash you bring. Yeah, I would say if you're on gonna have some sort of financial repayment plan, I wouldn't take $1,000 because they're probably gonna take most of it. But
I say don't take more than 500. But
I would say like if you've got somebody to send you money from the outside, take like $100 with you.
You can spend $500 in 2 weeks anyways. They're not going to let you.
Yeah, the spending limit right now I think is like $180 a month anyway. Like for the whole month is all you can spend, and then that fluctuates according to other things.
Yeah, so, and then you can only spend so much every 2 weeks until they.
Yeah, so take $200. I mean, you'll get everything you need for hygiene and snacks and whatever off a commissary. You can get everything you need for under $100. That'll get you by for a month.
Yeah, you can buy a used radio if you want. Otherwise, they're like $90 or something, or MP3 player. Buy used stuff the first month, and then you get the new stuff later.
Yeah, so don't take a lot of money because they could take it for financial repayment plan.
Yeah, they will. After it takes 3 or 4 months for that get in the system, they will take that.
Your first team meeting. Then
it's like 30%, and how much you've got saved up, they'll take I think 12% of that. So you can't even save money.
Yeah,
they did it to me. So.
But I would say there's nothing wrong with taking some cash with you, $100, $200 with you. And then if you've got somebody to send it to you month by month, they look at all that when they're calculating financial repayment plan. And that's how they'll set the amount. And that financial repayment plan amount will go up, but they don't adjust it down if you don't get the same amount of money. Like you get $200 right away. they're going to say, "Oh, you're getting $200 a month. You can repay $75 a month," and then
No, that was a one-time thing. He just had the money now. He's broke. I'm not going to get it like that no more. That's what they don't believe you. You're a felon. Why would I believe you?
Yep. All right. I'm happy to come on again if you, if we talk about stuff, but
I want. I had a lot more questions about Florence. We could do that another time too.
Yeah, let's do another show. That's fine.
Okay, I'd love to. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, they ever fix those pool tables? Put the velvet on them?
They just in the past 10 days replaced the felt on the one pool table.
Oh,
they replaced the felt. It's nice. Like the pockets, they reattach the pockets so the balls don't fall on the floor. Yeah, they just did that.
I got out in middle of 19, and they just now. It was ripped the whole time I was there. Wow.
Yep.
Well, we're felons. Your pool tables that's our priority. I get it.
Yep. So advice.
All right, dude.
First timers, the healthcare sucks. There is virtually zero mental health care. Like I wanted mental health care, and I got 30 minutes a month with a psychologist.
Oh, I was supposed to. I signed up, and it never happened.
Yeah, 30 minutes a month.
You got some. That's good, though.
So I went from having, on the outside, I had a counselor I would speak to either every week or every other week for an hour. In prison, I got 30 minutes a month with the psychologist that has hundreds of inmates on their caseload. So don't expect mental health care. I'd love to talk about mental health care. I'm like an advocate for mental health care anyway. Yeah. So we could talk about that and the kinds of things that need to happen that aren't happening.
I am going to stand up for their dental program. I've never had dental in my life, and that was probably the best dental program I've had. Now, I've never really had one, but they took care of my teeth, and I thought they did a good job in that department. That's just me. What do you think?
I wasn't there long enough. That's the thing about a 6-month sentence.
I
didn't qualify for any dental care. They didn't. They do as part of your intake. They'll see if you've got any problems. But I've had moderately good dental health care, so I didn't have anything urgent. So I didn't get any. I mean, they did an inspection of my mouth, and that was it.
I got my teeth cleaned twice a year. Replace caps, whatever cap. They don't just pull your teeth. I will say that about them. There's some good things there.
I know people that had dental care there. Yeah. I don't know about the quality, but it if you never had it before, then having it there is better. So healthcare is hit or miss. Psychology, the psychologists I talk to they seem good, but it's just there's not enough of them to give enough attention to people that want it. I mean, people that need it. Like, so
tell us the most popular TV shows. You were telling me the other night one of them. Can you name the 3 most watched TV shows people hold their chair for and fight over in prison?
Yellowstone, like all the cars. All the cars, the black cars, the Pisces, the whites, everybody's watching Yellowstone. Everybody loves Yellowstone. Like that was it. So yeah.
And there was another show you said was popular, big too. Maybe it was Yellowstone. I thought it was something else. The other 2 shows. Snowflake, is that one?
Oh yeah, yep. That one's popular. And then sports, any kind of sports, like that's like if you're not a sports fan, you're gonna have a difficult time. You're gonna go to the recreation center to watch TV. And
my gambling, I want to tell you, gamble all you want if you have the cash. Never gamble with credit in prison. Never.
If you're going to be there for very long, get a Cash App before you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. All right, I really got to get going, but
thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. I'll be on here I'll hang out a little bit for the guys if you want to talk to me or something. But thank you very much, man. And if you could do it again, that's great too. And everybody, hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and tell me how I can improve this channel. And stick around. Thanks a lot, man.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You bet. So let's see, catch up on some of these comments. And Katie, Katie, I'm I've had 7 or 8 women I think on my channel here. Two of them I knew before they went to prison, and kind of like I am now. They've been on my show, and two of them are out now. They have prison channels. One is Fed Phoenix. She just got out. Really smart lady, Audrey. She went to Alderson prison camp, and the other one is well, she should be is Angie, but I think she changed it. It was Prison Talk with Angie, but I think it's Angie Stubbs now. It's her last name. But those two women could I could give you their phone number. They've told me they don't mind. So you let me know if you want to talk to a woman who's been through what you've been through. Maybe you don't want nothing to do with a woman. Maybe that's why you may be angry at women right now because I don't know your story, but I'd love to help you out. I'm sure these women would. A lot of these people in the chat room and stuff. That's what we kind of come together on these YouTube channels. We're all going through something, even out of prison, in prison. But now we got a common experience that we've kind of all been through, or going through, or about to go through. So, really appreciate you watching. Thumbs up all the way. All right, I like that. And she says, "R.I.P. Jerry." Yeah. I'd love to ask you some questions, Katie. I always want to know, have you been sent to jail? Do you know when you're going to get sentenced? Idea how much time you're going to get? Where do you want to go in prison? You could kind of be a travel agent, or your own travel agent. You could kind of, not a Priceline.com, but maybe a Booking.com. You can kind of book the prison that you want to go to, depending on. You have to get your classification level score first. For men, it's 11 points or less. You can go to a camp. If it's 12 to 16, you can go to a low. 17 to 20 points, you can go to a medium, and then 21 points or more, you have to go to a penitentiary. But depending on your classification level, you go to different kinds of camps, and then you could also request, because of the weather, the climate, or they got a program over there. They're warehouse building furniture, and they need to make money to survive. I have a breathing problem, so I need to be like in Tucson or somewhere, Texas, where the desert is. You can have different reasons. Your family's closer to New York than you are here. Lots of reasons. Also, you can just plain request you want to go to it. I'd like to do my time in Duluth, Minnesota. No reason at all. I just want to be high up in the mountains. You request that to the judge at sentencing, and they'll usually work with you and give you that, especially if there's a program you want to take there. And the women have a few programs. I think they have women have a beauty school